The evening sun cast long shadows over the grocery store parking lot as Officer James Reynolds sat in his patrol car. Known for his rigid adherence to the law and his personal biases, James was a fixture in the area he prided himself on keeping order, but his methods often strayed into the realm of unnecessary scrutiny, particularly when it came to people of color. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video to show your support. On this particular evening, his attention locked onto a black woman sitting casually on the hood of a car she was on the phone, laughing and gesturing as she spoke to James. Her relaxed demeanor seemed out of place, even suspicious. He watched her for a few moments, his assumption solidifying into certainty. Deciding to investigate, he stepped out of his car, adjusting his belt and straightening his badge as he approached. James walked toward the woman, his presence heavy and authoritative. She noticed him, but continued her conversation, her calm confidence unshaken. This only fueled James's suspicion. Stopping a few feet away, he interrupted her call. He demanded to see her identification, stating it was standard procedure for anyone lingering on private property. The woman, still calm, told him there was no legal reason to show her ID. She explained she was waiting for someone and not engaging in anything unlawful. James's tone grew sharp, accusing her of refusing to cooperate. He informed her that failure to comply would lead to her arrest for obstruction. His voice carried across the parking lot, drawing the attention of a few shoppers. Unbothered by his threats, the woman ended her call and reached into her purse, not for her ID, but for something else entirely. James tensed, his hand hovering near his holster, but instead of a weapon or ID, she pulled out a leather wallet, flipping it open to reveal a gleaming FBI badge. James froze, his confidence evaporating. The bold letter spelling Federal Bureau of Investigation glared at him like a spotlight in the dark. His face turned pale as he realized the gravity of his mistake. The woman introduced herself as a federal agent, her calm demeanor now replaced by commanding presence. She told James that his actions were not only unnecessary, but also indicative of a deeper issue, a bias that had no place in law enforcement. James stammered, attempting to explain himself. His excuses ranged from claims of just doing his job to concerns about potential threats, but the agent's piercing gaze silenced him. She took out her phone and made a call. Within minutes, the situation escalated beyond James's control. She contacted his department, detailing the encounter and requesting an immediate review of his conduct. James was left standing there, humiliated and powerless, as the woman calmly drove away, leaving him to face the fallout of his actions. By the time he returned to the station that evening, his superiors were already waiting. After a thorough investigation, the department found James's behavior unacceptable. His assumptions and overreach had not only embarrassed the force but also highlighted a systemic problem they could no longer ignore. He was suspended without pay for a month, of punishment that sent ripples through the department and the community. During his suspension, James had ample time to reflect that the incident was not just a professional setback, it was a wake-up call. The media picked up the story and public opinion was overwhelmingly against him. Community leaders and activists called for broader changes, demanding training programs to address bias and policing. Meanwhile, the FBI agent became a symbol of resilience and justice. Her decision to stand up against injustice, even when it came from another law enforcement officer, resonated deeply for James. The month away from his badge became an opportunity to confront his prejudices. He attended seminars, spoke with community members, and began to understand the depth of the mistrust between law enforcement and marginalized communities. By the time he returned to duty, he wasn't the same officer. He carried the weight of his actions and The lesson that power should never be wielded without accountability. The parking lot confrontation was more than just an embarrassing moment for one officer. It became a catalyst for change. The department implemented mandatory bias training, and the community felt a renewed sense of hope. As for the FBI agent, she continued her work, knowing she had made a difference, not just in that moment, but in sparking a broader conversation. Her badge wasn't just a symbol of authority, it was a beacon for justice, a reminder that the fight against prejudice begins with standing firm in the face of it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video to show your support.